GenFriends, we're back on the screen after a couple weeks off for RootsTech, but that's what we're going to talk about today. This wonderful panel that I've got. I'm Cheri Hudson-Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and we've got Mary Kircher Roddy from MKR Genealogy. I know. And you're also
hello.
Of course, your applied genealogy that you're doing too. And so we put the link for that. So if people want to sign up for classes. So
yeah, there's a couple spots left open in my Finding Living People class. So
cool.
if anybody's interested,
That's
got lots of fun homework to do.
well,
and Mary is an excellent teacher.
Yes, she is. She is. She is good. So it's good
Very
to have
kind.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like I haven't seen you forever and ever. We've got Melissa Barker, our archive lady, is on. Hey, Melissa.
Hello, everybody.
Good to have you here too. My roommate from RootsTech, Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hey, Laura.
I missed you in a whole week without you for
know.
24/7.
I know, it's so sad. It's so sad. And we've also got Jenny Hawran, who is she's a wonderful technical person, which we all discovered if you watched our last episode with Relative Race. She's the one that put that fabulous video together. So, all right. And it's still recording. So it didn't even stop the recording on my end. So, everybody, we are going to talk about RootsTech and see how long we can do this before my computer decides to shut down on me again. It's dead. Maybe it's tired for RootsTech as well. I don't know. I know that there was a hashtag going around, hashtag RootsTech tired. So we all are. So we thought we would take a few minutes and talk about some of us were there live, some of us watched it virtually, some of us presented virtually. And I know one of our GenFriend team members, Eowyn, was at the booth for WikiTree the whole week. So that was kind of fun as she was running the booth. And we had Bernice Bennette, who was signing books. I mean, so everybody was there just in a different way, and everybody could participate in a different way. So we had keynote speakers that we got to watch live, or you got to watch live on the recordings, or you can still go back and watch those recordings. We've got classes that are online that you can go back and watch if you missed them. I don't know. I was going to ask Eowyn if she was able to come today. I don't know. Do you guys know if any of the expo hall is still open virtually? If you can go in, and if any of those are still available. I don't know if they are or not.
I can check.
Laura's gonna go check. If I tried to go check my computer,
and I just sent Eowyn a chat to ask her about what, besides the fact that all the people in the expo hall gave her bronchitis, what else she had to offer for.
Oh, she's got bronchitis. Oh, I know several people went home sick, but when you've got that many people, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. Melissa, talk to us about your live stream, your webinar, and how that went, and how you experienced RootsTech.
I took 2 days off from work, so I could just immerse myself.
Yay.
I spoke Thursday afternoon. I did church records and archives. And then Friday afternoon, I did digging deeper into finding aids, your roadmap to any manuscript collection. I had an absolute ball. This is my 3rd year to present virtually, and I'm becoming a RootsTech regular, which is great. Virtual is my thing. I do not like to travel. And I work full time, but main thing is I don't like to travel. But
we've talked about coming through and kidnapping you and just taking no choice.
And so I love it when organizations, whomever they may be, offer a virtual aspect. And this year, from my perspective, RootsTech hit it out of the park. I think the first day there was a technical glitch, and then the second day for like the first 5 minutes there was a technical glitch. But other than that, on the virtual end, I didn't have any problems whatsoever, and I kept it on all day for everything.
That's great.
And my presentations went well. I had a lot of great feedback from it, and I think they enjoyed them.
Yeah,
and
if
so
you
I
missed
encourage
them,
people to go watch them. Yeah,
people can go and watch. Exactly.
But I also got
quite a while, aren't they?
Yeah.
What?
They're up for like a year.
Oh, yeah. In fact, my ones from last year are still up.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think they'll just leave them up unless for some reason the presenter would like for them to be
Yeah.
brought down. And all you have to do as a presenter is say, okay, we would like for you to pull these down now, and they'll do it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Red told me that the default for most things is 3 years, but it
mhm.
depends, like some of the stuff on artificial intelligence in
Yes.
6 months is going to be
Right.
out of date. So
Exactly.
that might get pulled down early because
Right,
it's not very evergreen.
right.
Mm.
I also followed a lot of bloggers and a lot of
Mhm.
you and people like that that were
Mhm.
videoing and posting, and so that was really
Yeah.
great. One of the ones I really was enjoying watching was Connie Knox,
Yeah,
and her YouTube channel, Genealogy TV.
yes.
She would do live interviews. She did a live tour of the expo hall each
Mhm.
day just to see what was going on, which you got that way you got to see
got
the
to
expo
get a
hall on the
feel.
website's great, but then you got to see the
Yeah.
expo hall. And she talked to some of the different vendors as she went through.
Right, right.
So, you really could get a sense of it. I mean, I know that the experience of being there is a whole different experience, but for those of us who really love virtual,
Yeah,
it's a great experience.
yeah. It's really cool. I wish we could
While
talk
we're
you into
doing-
coming, but I understand the virtual, and I'm glad they're doing the virtual, and they've kept it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Mary, before, a minute ago, you were gonna say something.
I was just going to ask about how long the recordings are
Oh,
available
okay.
for. So that
Oh,
was it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all righty. Laura, were you just getting ready to say something, or was
I
I?
was going to say I could show I get what you see now from some of the vendors on the expo
Okay,
hall if I
yeah, that'd be
shared.
great.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Okay.
you should be able to share your screen.
Yeah. So this one, I just happened to go into DNA Painter. Some
Oh,
of
there
them,
we go. Okay.
but they're like one of my favorites. So,
Uh-huh.
so they don't have tons, but they have like a little video right here.
Oh, good. So the things are still up then for people to go.
Right.
Mhm.
And they have 3 product demonstrations, which is
Mhm.
good. It's what are the odds? I think that would be really hard to read through it and get it.
Yeah.
And then they have, and his stuff is really good. And then there's
Yes.
sales, and I looked at a couple of them, a lot of the RootsTech sales.
Are still on. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a download for getting started. And then they all have this contact us,
Yes.
which then takes you, and I'm not sure that during the live conference that there was much manning of the contact
know.
us.
I don't know.
So that's,
Thank you,
and
Laura.
so,
Thank you for doing that.
yeah, you just go in at the RootsTech event, and then
Right,
it says
right.
online right here, and then it goes Expo Hall, and then you can
Mhm.
see all the different
Perfect.
different people that have a booth.
Perfect. Thank
Oh,
you.
and there's societies too, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stopping sharing.
Oh,
That was
good.
my
That was
share.
great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So
Cool.
Jenny, what was your favorite part of RootsTech?
So, I was thinking about this morning, what I took away from it. And it might have just been my circles that I happen to be going in. I mean, I love the expo hall so much. I just felt like there was an overall theme that I kept running into all this year, which was getting young people, involved, which is a theme that we all have,
Yes.
for all our societies and groups. But I felt it really strongly this year. I kept hearing we need to meet them where they are. I mean, Ancestry was talking about it and talking about stories and capturing stories in a mobile way and in small bits. And Storied was talking about it, and there were a lot of different apps and a lot of different there were a lot of classes about how to get your family involved, and
Right.
there always are, but this year it just seemed, I don't know, maybe I just kept running into it. And
Yeah.
and I thought that was, I also felt like I saw a lot of young people that that I don't normally see, and not just in the expo hall, but I just felt like a young vibe this year, which was good. I mean, like an energetic,
Right.
I felt that last year we were still kind of all coming back from
Right.
COVID, and this year
Wow.
it just felt like really good. It felt really
Yes.
good in there. I
Yes.
thought the energy was so positive,
Mhm.
and it wasn't too crowded. It was
Right.
the right amount crowded.
Yes.
There was just energy that was
Yeah.
I just really, it was just a really good experience as far as feeling rejuvenated. I think that's the word
Yes.
I'm looking
Yes.
for.
Yes,
Yeah, and I
exactly.
came back with a lot of ideas. My kids are in their 30s, and I'm always looking for ways to, engage them
Mhm.
in the family history. And I know they are interested in the stories, but they're not interested in doing things the way that I do things, but
Yes.
little snippets of, having some place that they can, record a story, or hear me record a story, and they can hear
Mhm.
these little small bits. That appeals to them, and I just felt that maybe I was looking for that
Yeah.
unconsciously, this
Yeah.
year. But I just, so I just thought it was just a great conference. It
Yeah.
really was one of the best ones as far as content, definitely.
Right, and they added more content as far as societies. They had a whole track for societies to help
Mhm,
them learn and grow. They had a
mhm,
whole track for advanced
mhm,
classes as well, which they really haven't done much with in the
mhm,
past, but yeah, they had a whole advanced track that was really and truly advanced.
mhm.
Sometimes they
Yeah,
would call
no,
something advanced,
I
but this was
right.
really and truly advanced. So
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was great as well. Um, as far as the keynotes, we always wait to see who is going to come on and entertain us and get us all riled up. Of course, Kirby was the was the MC, and he's so good. He's so good at doing that. But my favorite, of course, has to be Christian Chenoweth. So, Mary. Okay, I don't know if I'm breaking up again. I didn't hear what Mary said. So one of y'all answer her until my
She
She was
just
just
she
telling you
w-
to go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, to talk about Kristen.
oh,
And
okay.
that'll
Oh,
say
I'm
nothing.
back. Yeah, I keep going off and coming back. I'm not sure what's going on with my internet. Oh my gosh, she was so good. She was just
Mhm.
so good and so sweet, and talked about her adoption story. And so if anybody missed that, please go back. Please go back and watch it and hear her sing and learn about her story. So I have frozen up again. So anybody who wants to ask a question or keep talking, please do.
Go ahead, Mary.
Well, all
Anytime
right.
I
So,
freeze up, somebody jump in.
well, we can still hear you even if you're freezing up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The audio hasn't. We haven't
Okay.
lost
Oh,
that.
good.
So yeah, Kristen Chenoweth, I agree. She just was fabulous. I mean,
Yeah.
I cried,
Yes.
when she was talking about, the experience of meeting her mother and
Yeah.
her birth mother, and it was
Right.
really, really something. Um, uh, I was curious because in the past, haven't the keynotes been like the first thing in the day?
Yes.
In the
And they were
past,
later
Well,
this year. There was a bunch of
well,
stuff
not
about
before,
last
11,
and
year.
then there was the
about
keynote.
11, they come on about 11 o'clock.
I know, but I thought so I've only been to RootsTech once, and it was like at 8 or 9 o'clock they had the
Yeah,
keynote.
they've
Yeah,
changed that. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. It was at one point,
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're
but I
right.
think probably the logistics of parking and they pull a lot locally too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think probably the logistics of getting everybody in,
Yeah.
when the city is like at its rush hour and stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so
I
they
just was curious because I expected that I would hear the keynote and then look at sessions. It was like the first
Yeah.
day, it's like, well, you missed a whole bunch of sessions because it didn't really start with the keynote. It kind of middled with the
Yeah,
keynote.
some of us had
So
8 o'clock ones, didn't we?
yes.
You know, I about the keynotes is I noticed a little difference this year, and this isn't a criticism at all.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a reason, but I was hoping that they would get a little deeper into all of their what they discovered,
Oh, me too.
what Family
yeah.
Search found for them. But
Yes.
I'm just wondering if there's a reason, like maybe they didn't want them
And
to
and it could be. Yeah.
You know, but I really would have liked to known a little bit more about Kristen's. I mean, I loved
Yeah.
her story, but
Yeah.
you know, did they look into her, you know, her ancestry?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but maybe there's a reason for that. So
Yeah.
I just
Well, and
noticed that more.
with her, there could have been a time problem because she had to catch a plane at 1. So she had to get on the stage, get her stuff done, and then she had some meet and greets with local media. We didn't even, as RootsTech media, get to talk to her, but they did do a short little time period where you could stand there and the line had to go really fast and you could take a picture real quick with her. But that could have been a time problem.
Could have
Yeah,
been.
now
Yeah.
I will say, Mary, she was very, very authentic, personal. Like
Yes.
they told her, we're going to be really fast. People are going to come. There's no chit chat. And she's like, no, you're going to introduce me to them all.
Yeah.
And you're going to take pictures, several pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she wasn't just, I'm the star. So just come in.
No, she was so sweet and she's so short. She's so tiny.
She's a little
Yeah,
thing.
she's
She's a
small.
little tiny thing. I felt like a monster next to her.
I know.
One of the things that I wasn't sure I was going to like was, you know, all the emphasis on artificial intelligence, because it seemed like when we had our media stuff that we were told this is the topic, and you know, and it wasn't on the main stage. So I think it was running through in classes and things like that, and they want to get ahead of the curve because, like anything, it can be, what do they call it, a disruptive influence in the industry. So they want to get ahead of it, and I thought it was very, very interesting, but I was glad that it wasn't like that technology wasn't on the mainstream, because it's so far above so many people's heads.
Yes, exactly.
But I did feel like a couple of the speakers, like Henry Cho, I felt like the interviews could have gone deeper, or, you know, there was a little something different. But
well, then who was the other keynote? I can't think of her name.
She is the great granddaughter.
Yes.
Is it Lynn Jackson?
Yes.
Is that her name?
Jackson,
Yeah.
and there was the
Dred Scott.
Dred Scott, yeah.
Right, and the lady that what is her name? Somebody help me. That
the photographer.
The photographer that took the
she
pictures.
was amazing.
Yeah, she was amazing as well. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how it played out in person, but virtually it was interesting. You're talking about AI. Virtually, I actually saw a lot of comments in all of the social media channels, because we do hashtag not at RootsTech and we all follow it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were commenting about, there is so much AI. There's so much AI. So I think virtually maybe we were more bombarded with it than maybe you all got in person.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe so. And just because I blew it, her name is Nancy Borowick. Photographer.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those.
Yeah.
Get a
Her
certain
story
age
was fascinating too, and how she took the photos of her parents as they died of cancer. It was just
that was very difficult to watch.
Yeah,
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was difficult to watch. Talking to her, and I'm going to write an article about it, but talking to her in the media center was a little different, because she talked more about how she coped and how she used photography as kind of a filter.
Yeah.
She was so real with people about whatever their questions were, whatever they're going through.
I can't wait to read your article, Laura, because I wasn't able to be in on that one because I was off having to do something else, and I didn't get to be in.
Probably teach a class or something ridiculous.
Probably teaching a class, yeah, probably was.
And I tell you something that I came away with from RootsTech this year too. It seems, and maybe it's just because it's fresh, it seems like that there were tons of new and genealogy announcements.
Just going to ask everybody about that. Yeah, go ahead.
It's like every company had something new that they were bringing out.
Yes.
You know, Family Search has got the new search. What's that called?
Yeah.
It's their labs, experimental
search labs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Full text.
I think it's
full text. I've already
yeah.
gotten on there and found things. I'm so excited about that. Yeah.
And then My Heritage had had 2 or 3. They had old news.
Yes.
Which was I think that I've looked at that, and I've seen some other people have looked at that, and I think
Found some
that
things, yeah.
I think they rolled it out. I'm going to say that they rolled it out a little too soon, but they've got some more work to do on it, and I think that it'll get better and better.
Yeah.
I think that
I think Daniel actually even admit there was some feature that it wasn't Daniel, it was someone else with with My Heritage that said, yeah, we kind of knew customers were going to want such and such, and we're going to get right on it.
yeah, they'll get it. They'll get it. I think with RootsTech, they just wanted to have that platform, which, as a business, that's what you'd want to do.
Exactly.
So what's some of the
Yeah.
others? Those are the two I remember.
Find My
Well,
Past is going to do the whole bringing out the records for the children. What are they called? See, my brain is RootsTech dead. British Home Children.
British Home, yeah.
Children, yeah. They're putting all those records online, so that's a wonderful thing for people that have family members that were pulled away and sent during the war.
Now, Ancestry was talking more about their Pro Tools, etc., which didn't interest me as much. What did interest me was how many records they added last year.
Yes.
You took what they had in 2023 and they added like a third more. And this again is having AI read and index and things like that.
Right.
So that part I thought was super exciting because that was great. And then there was somebody else that had something. I know what it was. My Heritage. It's very interesting because I got to hear a big discussion because I was in the speaker lounge and I got to hear Judy Russell and Daniel Horowitz go back.
That would have been a good conversation to listen to.
Eavesdropping report. Basically,
hey, what goes on in the speakers lounge is supposed to stay in the speakers.
This part is public. My Heritage is going to have let people put their Find My Past DNA into My Heritage.
That's right.
We did talk about that.
Family tree, family.
But the question that came up was the two companies have very different terms and conditions.
Yeah.
And so
that is a Judy Russell question. I can see that.
Right. And so it was very interesting. He was like, no, when they are at the My Heritage site, My Heritage terms and conditions, which are much more private.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to law enforcement, et cetera, apply. And I don't think it's going to go the other way. Isn't
it family tree DNA that they're uploading?
Yes. And I don't think the opposite is going to happen. I don't think they've worked that. But he was just, I was asking him, I'm like, well, what about privacy rules, around the world? And he said, it's basically when I have DNA from a customer in the US laws apply. If I have a customer that their stuff is on the same server, say the server itself sits in Israel or wherever, but it's the customer, where the customer lives, what laws apply. So I thought that was really fascinating how they manage all the privacy issues around the world.
Gosh, that's got to be complicated. It's just got to be complicated.
It was pretty fascinating because they kind of made it simple, like, where they live, that's the rule.
That's the rule. Yeah.
That's the laws. So
those of you that were there in person and you were in the media hub there, or in the not the media hub, where all the vendors were.
Yeah, Expo Hall.
Expo Hall. Thank you. So when you got to talk to all of the vendors and things, did you pick up on anything that might be coming, or that maybe weren't like the big announcement that anybody was doing?
I would say, well, one of the good things is you get a lot of access to vendors, and some of the storied people were staying in the same hotel.
Yeah,
I actually got a little interview in the elevator. So I really got the idea that they've rolled out like their main product, and then they have like tons of brainstormed, enhancements.
Yep.
And that it really is their baby product, that I think we're going to see a lot more from them.
Yeah,
And
they were very upfront. I mean, they
Oh,
were very
yes.
real. And they were just
Yeah.
like, we hope this flies here. You know,
Yeah,
we're they were
exactly.
just, you know, we're putting all our eggs in this basket kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it was kind of refreshing, you know, there wasn't any bravado going on there at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's important for people to know, a lot of people still don't understand that you can get in that expo hall for free. You do not have to pay to go to RootsTech to get into the expo hall. When you go in, you just tell them that you're only going into the expo hall. You get a band just for, going into the expo hall, and you can spend all day, and you could spend all 3 days in that expo hall and probably still not be able to see everything and talk to everybody. There's so many vendors there. And
Yeah.
there were more this year than there were last year, so.
They
Yeah.
said it was like 120% more, but it looked, space-wise to me, it looked at least 1.5 times as big.
Yeah.
But Saturday, see, a lot of Saturdays, I just like book it from the vendor hall because there's such a mass of humanity that I'm just claustrophobic. And it wasn't that way this year. And
No.
part of it is they had like a big basketball court, and they had
Yeah.
a Gimmers is a basketball star, and then they had
Yeah.
a squash, not squash, pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yeah, squash is different. But I don't know if they like moved people out of like the aisles that way,
Yeah.
or if they had less kid giveaways, or if the aisles were bigger, but something
Yeah, it was different.
something made Saturday really enjoyable in the expo
Yes,
hall.
I
Yes.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm still sad, that we didn't go to that. We should have crashed the youth party Friday night.
You say that every year.
One
We
of these
say
years,
no.
we are going to crash the youth party just to walk around and take some pictures. I think that would be really fun, but it doesn't help when you've got that be to other places at the same time. But I think it'd be really fun.
Well, the other thing about being at RootsTech in person is there's so much stuff going on, not just the education. I think it's your brain that's more tired. Well, there's a lot of steps too. But your brain, like if somebody says at 8 o'clock they want to go somewhere, you're just like, no.
We're tired. We want to go to bed.
My body's had it. My brain's had it.
Yeah.
But just it's so wonderful to be able to see people in person, to be able to talk to people in person. And I know that for those watching online, there were little chat groups and things going on that you guys could talk to each other in person that
We
way.
did.
And it's just like a big old family reunion is what it ends up being, so.
There
I was
were a
I
lot
know
of
that-
speakers. Oh, I'm sorry. There were a lot of speakers that were new to me as
Yeah.
well. And so I thought they did a very good job in
Yes.
person,
Yes.
speakers that I didn't know. And I really enjoyed going to those classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was that because they did have more of an advanced track? Is that why we saw new people?
Maybe.
I don't know. And it could be. And like I said, they had a society track. They're just trying new things to pull in, more people. And so, yeah. And I know
When you think about it, I mean, a lot of people, they do go year after year after year after year.
Right.
So you have to do that because, otherwise they'll learn everything. And
Exactly. And then of course we've got to mention the fact that when you're at RootsTech and you're in Salt Lake, you're just a few blocks from the Family Search Library. And so you need to take that opportunity to go and do some research and look at those books that you can't find anywhere else and haven't been digitized yet, and those records that haven't been digitized. There are some, and there are some that you can only see in the library too, which is under contract. It's not because Family Search says, hey, if we keep all of these where people have to come to the library, then people will still have to come to the library. That's not what they're doing. That's the contract they've got with whomever owns those records, and that's the only way they'll let people see them. So
yeah, they said, I talked to, again, I'm going to need a name, Lynn, who is the president of the library.
He runs, yeah.
And he said the books are the hardest ones to negotiate the agreements because they have a different copyright to begin with than the other archive records. So he said, like, if you're visiting, they always tell visitors, if you're not sure what to look at, go to the books.
Go to the books. Exactly.
Because they're most likely not accessible from home.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's what I do. I always go right to the books and see what I can find. So that's Lynn Turner is who you're.
Thank you. I am like, there's no, I probably, if my kids walked in, I wouldn't know their names.
Well, like I was saying, hashtag
You.
RootsTech tired. So whether you, you watched it online or you were there the whole week, or we're exhausted still. A little bit of jet lag, and then we had to turn the clocks forward. I mean,
Yeah.
that was bad planning.
So when did you all leave? Because I noticed that the next day, snow hit.
Snow
Yeah, we had
hit.
weather. Mhm.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I left Saturday, but I
It
left
hit on
Saturday at midnight.
Saturday. The
Yeah,
snow came on Saturday, and it was, by the time I left, it was like Sunday, late
Yeah, Sunday.
afternoon. It was through.
Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
But
left.
I know that who was it that I saw that had to wait 7 hours to even get out? Who was that?
Yes.
Oh,
I think that was Renata.
Renata.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had to, because her plane was taken off right in the middle of when it
Yeah.
hit. They just hadn't had that chance to clean off the runway and all that type of stuff. And so she was delayed and missed the connection. And so
A lot
yeah,
of people
a lot
missed connections, and then I
Yeah.
heard that a lot of people came home with COVID.
Oh,
Some
really?
people-
Yeah.
I
some
don't know
people
one.
did,
Is there a lot?
What?
I said, I only know of one. Is there a lot?
yeah, I know of two.
Yeah, I only knew of two.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I have heard a couple, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Last year, I was one of those people, so I'm just
Yeah.
very happy that. In fact, when I got home, I was like, I'm gonna do it before I go, because it was like 1:30 when I got home. I'm like, I'm doing a COVID test so I can decide what bedroom I'm gonna sleep.
That's funny.
it's just the life we live nowadays,
It
right?
is.
You're in those kind of
You know,
crowds,
I think years ago, I think
airplanes or wherever you might be. They
Any
may not
kind
have
of-
gotten it at RootsTech. They could have gotten
any
it
kind
at
of
the
a
library.
large gathering
Yeah,
like that,
could have gotten it at the restaurant. They could have
Yeah.
gotten it on the way there and brought it to us, So just
Yeah, but there's a lot. I mean, that's the one thing about traveling in this day and age. I mean, when you travel, you do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a hotel with a bunch of people. You're
Exactly.
at restaurants. You're going into
Yep.
store.
Yeah.
You're definitely exposing yourself to a lot. So
I just thought that this year there wasn't. I thought last year people were still very, very cautious last year.
Yes.
I saw a
Yes.
lot more masks last year,
Last year,
and people were, I don't know, like not knowing if you should hug somebody, not knowing if you should. I didn't see that. I thought this year, people were a little bit more relaxed or enjoying and just kind of saying, this is what we live with now. So I want to hug you because I haven't seen you,
Exactly.
kind of deal. And
I think I was more cautious at the beginning of the week because I knew there was time to come down with COVID before the conference actually started.
True.
So if we were in the library, there was one where one lady was coughing and like, so now we can go to a different floor.
All in all, I think it was really enjoyable. I do have to tell you one funny story about flying home, though. I flew home on the red eye, so it was actually Sunday night after the conference, and y'all know
Saturday night after the conference.
well, it was Saturday night, but it was actually Sunday morning because we left at 12:45, so it was Sunday morning. Mary and Pierre Louis was on my flight, which we thought was really funny going into Atlanta. Then we look at where we're sitting. We're sitting on the same row. I'm sitting on A, she's sitting at C. So we had this one person in between us, but it was a red eye, so we both fell asleep. We didn't really talk. But how fun is that? Not only to know someone like that, a friend of yours, on the plane, which you didn't plan, and then to have them in your same row. I mean, what are the odds of that, So that was fun. So we parted ways because she was going to, Boston. And I'm going to Myrtle Beach. So we ended up going different ways there, but it was really kind of fun. So, yeah, I think it was a great conference, and I would, we'll put the link on for people to go back and rewatch the things that you want to rewatch. So there's classes on there from years previous, if you want to go back and watch those. All the keynotes are on there from previous years and this year's, and yeah, and I love the theme, remember. think
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I
Yeah.
cannot listen to
Yeah.
the song. It makes me cry every time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was a beautiful, beautiful song.
You mentioned Boston, and I don't think we should
Yes.
end the show without talking about Dave Lambert's gift to Steve Rockwood.
Thank you. Yes, Melissa, go
Mm.
ahead. Since you brought it up, go
I
ahead.
don't know what the name of I know it was an old
Yes.
book that David Lambert found. I want to say it at a estate sale or
Yeah, something like
some
that.
kind of
Yeah.
a sale,
Yeah.
and it was on the Rockwood family.
Emily.
But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to say
couldn't
this
find it.
this book dated back to either the early 1900s or the late 1800s.
It was old. It
Yes,
was
and
old. And what's so funny is that they presented that to him during the media dinner,
yeah,
which you got to watch live
yes,
stream since you're on the media team.
yes.
And there's some lady that's on this panel that realized that she could jump up and wave at the camera.
The thing
Laura.
was so funny is that they had cameras and they were going all over and they were set up stationary too, but they had a camera that was moving and everyone and it
Yeah.
would move every once in a while. And so it was on you guys and I could see you. So I sent a message. I said, I could see you. Well, then the camera moved, even though your stationary camera was
Right.
there, the camera I was seeing
Yes.
moved. So at the time that Laura was standing up and waving at the camera, I could see you, but from behind. A few tables over. I could see you doing it, but I wasn't seeing you from that camera angle.
How many people were on the call with you watching?
It was me, Randy Seaver. It was less than 10.
Okay.
It was me, Randy Seaver. I can't remember who else, but because we didn't talk to each other. They didn't open up where we could talk to each other. So we were messaging each other, talking about, and we played a game. Who do we see? And so we were playing Who Do You See? As we could see, and Randy's like, I'm horrible at recognizing people. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Made it real fun for
Good
us.
to know, because I kind of afterwards I'm like, well, it would have been really nice if like everybody in the room had waved at the appropriate camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about the
Have a nice
food.
way
We were
to
like,
do
oh,
it.
okay, they're having their salad now. We'll wonder what's the main entree. We talked about all that.
Well, there were a lot of people with the entree in front of them saying,
What
is this?
It was fun. It was fun. So maybe we'll suggest that for next time, is we want to say hi
Yeah.
to, and we did get to say hi.
We did, yes.
Keynotes. They asked us to say hi to everybody that was watching, so that was nice. So
And
we
then I
didn't
don't
yell
remember.
hi. We yelled hi, Melissa, which I
don't
know you
remember-
couldn't hear that.
I don't
because we
remember
knew you were
what
watching.
session it was, or if it was a keynote or something, or if the MC just did it. But
Mhm.
he everybody said stand up and clap or thank the
Yes.
archivist, which
Yeah,
was
the archivist.
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Was
Yeah,
anything else? I'm trying to think. I'll probably get off of this and think,
I
oh,
did hear like there was a lady from Germany. I think she's an archivist or a librarian.
mhm.
And she was telling that she had come, there was supposed to be like a Q&A
Yes.
but she was supposed to be speaking and then it wasn't clear whether it was going to happen. I never
Oh,
It happened. Well, I don't know if any of y'all remember when we attended the media meetings before, those of
Yeah.
us that were in the media, they mentioned, Annie and them mentioned very, very briefly, because I caught it, because I'm like, oh, when is it going to be recorded? But it would happen, I think, Wednesday night. And I don't
Oh.
think it was recorded or anything. And I
Oh,
was like, oh, I
yeah.
wanted to see that. They're going to have a meeting or something with
Right.
the archivist. And I thought, oh, I want to see that. But
Well,
they
Melissa,
didn't.
when they ask for suggestions, say, please, if you're going to do that again, do it,
Yes.
record it, let
Yeah,
us
I'm
know
going
when
to.
it's going to be and record it, because they
Yeah.
want that kind of feedback to make.
Yeah, so I see on here there was one from 2023 Global Archive Leaders Panel discussion.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that would be really good. If it
Maybe they
happened
did
every
record it
year.
and it will come out
Well,
with all the
maybe.
recordings. I don't know.
Maybe that would be great.
It wasn't on the schedule. I didn't see it anywhere on
Yeah.
the schedule. So
Yeah, but they want to do things throughout the year. So who knows? It
Yes,
might,
they might
you
release
might not have to wait
it.
till next year.
Sure.
It might
Yeah.
come out in April, May, something like that.
sure.
Yeah. Fun.
And I'm not.
Well,
it's not
years
my-
ago.
Go ahead, Mary.
Sorry, go ahead.
One last thing. I believe I know that you can go to Roots Web or Roots Tech website and watch the recordings. If I'm not mistaken, they're also uploading them to YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing some references to YouTube, the presentations coming out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think they use YouTube to host them.
Okay.
And then they they're on demand. When they move things from like the RootsTech website to their on-demand library, it
Mhm.
has better search engine functionality.
Okay.
Like you can use keywords, or
Yeah.
like I just did archivist. So that works really well to find content.
I'm sorry, Mary.
It's okay. So I just was curious. I only really got to pay attention to little bits of it because of work. But the in the past they did have a RootsTech in London. Is that something that they talked about bringing back?
Oh,
or
we've been trying for the last few years, but they keep saying no. They don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we asked this
Yeah.
year, and
Yeah.
we asked Jen Allen,
Mhm.
who's the overall of RootsTech.
Yeah.
And she's, because during the media dinners are somebody made a joke about this would be a good time to ask Steve Rockwood about. And
Because he gets it all the time.
They were like, no, it's hard enough to do a virtual conference and an in-person conference at the same time. I can't possibly see adding 6 months apart something in another country.
Yeah.
I keep hoping they'll change their mind,
Yeah.
but
Okay, I just was curious.
Yeah, we all would love that again. We all would love that again. It was a wonderful, wonderful conference. And I know that those that live in Europe are saying, please bring it back, please bring it back. So, but right now, the answer is no, unfortunately, unfortunately. So
yeah.
anybody, any last thoughts about RootsTech 2024? I thought it was a great success. I
It was
loved
good.
being there. I still have that hashtag RootsTech tired because I had to come home and get right back into work and doing other things. And so I feel like I haven't relaxed, but
Add that to the little thumbnail for this video.
yeah. RootsTech tired. You know, they made bracelets to pass out. And so people we were like kind of at a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
Passing out bracelets, but somebody needs to make hashtag RootsTech tired for next year and hand them out at the end. Like have them at the media hub or places where we're really, really tired in the speakers lounge, and pass those around. That would be really nice to have.
Yep.
So, but I am really glad that they have so many ways that we can watch it, though, that Melissa can participate, Mary can participate, we can participate, and you can participate in the way that makes you comfortable and learn in the way that makes you comfortable, because not all of us can travel. Not all of us every year can travel. I mean, there are people that have been there, they'll be there 1 year, but they can't come the next year. There's always ways for them to participate and learn. And I love that. And I know that this is something they're going to continue, because somebody did ask, with the millions of people who are signing in online and watching online, are we going to let go of the live portion? And they said, nope, that's not going to happen.
That's
We
good.
will always
There
have.
needs to be a live portion.
There always needs to have the people in, the in-person and the recorded.
It drives the energy.
It drives the, it does.
Yeah.
It really drives the energy of the whole conference. So and you got to smell the peanuts cooking, right? You got to, all those kinds of things, all work to make RootsTech. You walk in the building and you're like, oh, it's RootsTech. So anyway, thank you for coming on and talking to us about your experience with RootsTech. And we'll put some links in the blog post so that you can find everybody. I'll have everybody send me the links to their talks that were recorded, and you can click on those and watch them. And then there'll be the link to get on the RootsTech website so you can watch whatever you want to watch and do some searching and look at all the wonderful classes that not only were this year, but in the previous years. There's a lot of classes on there. So with that, I didn't leave again. Yay. I better say goodbye.
You got stable there.
I got stable. Woo. Laura's going, you have never roomed with her. Jenny's like, you never hung out with her for a week. Anyway.
Stable is very overrated.
That's right.
That's very overrated. Thanks, everybody. And with that, we will see you next time on GenFriends. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.